Warden Zixathala had overseen the Void Station Penitentiary for 17 cycles, housing the galaxy's most dangerous criminals in perfect zero-gravity isolation. The floating prison was considered escape-proof, rehabilitation-proof, and hope-proof, until they brought in the human. Marcus Chen floated in cell block Omega-7, a spherical chamber designed to break the spirit of any being through sensory deprivation and complete lack of physical stimulation. No gravity meant no exercise, no movement patterns, no way to maintain muscle mass or bone density. Most prisoners lasted 6 months before requesting transfer to a gravity-enabled facility, broken and compliant. The human had been there for 3 standard months. "Warden," Officer Katal's voice crackled through the comm, uncertainty evident even through the universal translator. "You need to see this." Zixthala's 4 eyes focused on the security feed from Chen's cell. What she saw defied all logic and understanding of zero-gravity physics. The human was moving with purpose, pushing off walls in calculated sequences, performing what appeared to be some sort of ritualistic dance. But as she watched closer, she realized it wasn't random movement. He was exercising. "Computer, analysis of prisoner Chen's movement patterns," she commanded. "Subject appears to be utilizing microgravity environment for enhanced cardiovascular and resistance training. Current routine includes wall-assisted resistance exercises, rotational momentum, training, and isometric holds." Zixthala's mandibles clicked in confusion. How is this possible? She continued watching as Chen pushed against one wall, tucked into a tight ball, spun precisely 3 times, then extended his limbs to catch the opposite wall with his feet, immediately transitioning into what their database identified as push-ups against the curved surface. The fluid motion was mesmerizing. "Bring up his file," she ordered. The holographic display showed Marcus Chen, former Earth Defense Force, combat engineer, convicted of destroying a hegemony mining facility that was strip mining a protected world. The charges were valid, but his motivation had been environmental protection rather than terrorism. "Note here," Katal pointed with a tentacle. "His species requires regular physical exertion to maintain psychological and physiological health. All species do, that's why isolation cells work." "No, Warden, humans are different. Their ancestors were pursuit predators. They literally evolved to run down prey across vast distances. Physical activity isn't just beneficial for them, it's a biological imperative." Over the following weeks, Zixthala found herself inexplicably drawn to monitoring Chen's cell. The human's routine had evolved into something extraordinary. He had mapped every surface of his spherical prison, calculating angles and trajectories, to create resistance exercises that would have been impossible in gravity. He used the wall-mounted food dispenser as an anchor point for stretching. He performed controlled spins to work his core muscles. He even figured out how to use his own body weight and momentum to create resistance training, pushing against his own limbs in carefully timed sequences. Most remarkably, he was getting stronger. "This is unprecedented," Dr. Velnari, the station's chief medical officer, reported during the monthly review. "Most prisoners show 20 to 30% muscle deterioration after 3 months in zero-G isolation. The human has gained muscle mass." "That's impossible." "Scans don't lie, Warden. His bone density has actually improved. His cardiovascular system is more efficient than when he arrived, and his psychological profile—" Dr. Velnari paused, her gill slits fluttering nervously. "He's happier than most of our staff." That evening, Zixthala accessed the cell's communication system, something she'd never done with a prisoner before. "Human Chen." The man paused mid-exercise, floating gracefully near the center of his cell. "Warden, to what do I owe the pleasure?" His casual tone unnerved her. Prisoners were supposed to be broken by now, desperate, pleading. "How are you? Doing this?" Chen smiled, an expression that somehow seemed predatory despite its apparent friendliness. "Doing what exactly?" "You're supposed to be suffering. This is punishment, isolation, designed to break your spirit." "Oh." Chen performed a slow, controlled somersault. "I figured that out pretty quickly. But see, you made a fundamental miscalculation. which is, you gave a human unlimited free time and removed the one thing that usually limits our exercise routines, which is gravity. Chen pushed off the wall, performed a series of movements that looked like aerial martial arts, and caught himself on the opposite side. On Earth, we're constantly fighting gravity. Every step, every movement, every exercise is a battle against a force trying to pull us down. But here I can move in ways that would make Olympic gymnasts weep with envy. He demonstrated by launching into a routine that was part dance, part combat form, part acrobatics. I've had 3 months to perfect this. 0G gives me resistance in every direction. I can work muscle groups that barely activate in gravity. I can hold positions for extended periods without joint stress. Zixthala watched in fascination and growing horror as Chen continued. Plus, you've given me the one thing humans crave most when stressed, a problem to solve. How do you exercise in zero gravity? How do you turn a prison into a training facility? How do you emerge stronger than when you went in? This was supposed to break you. Chen's grin widened. Warden, my species once looked at the most hostile environments in our galaxy and asked, how do we live there? We looked at the deepest oceans and asked, how do we go deeper? We looked at space itself and asked, how do we make it our home? He performed another impossible maneuver, spinning horizontally while maintaining perfect form. You didn't imprison a human. You gave a human the ultimate gym membership. That night, Zixthala submitted a recommendation to the Galactic Penal Authority. Humans required a complete redesign of punishment protocols. Traditional isolation didn't just fail to break them, it made them stronger. 3 weeks later, Marcus Chen was transferred to a standard gravity facility where he was assigned to work detail in the gardens. Within 6 months, he had revolutionized their agricultural systems and was granted early release for good behavior. The zero-gravity isolation cell remained empty. No one wanted to risk putting another human in there, afraid of what they might transform it into next. After all, the species that had turned the vacuum of space into highways between stars could probably turn anything into an opportunity, even a prison.